Imagine a future powered by clean energy, but at what cost to the very farmers who feed our nation? That's the heart-pounding dilemma unfolding in South Australia, where a major transmission project is sparking heated debates about balancing green ambitions with rural livelihoods. Stick around, because this story isn't just about power lines, it's about who gets to shape the landscape of tomorrow. And trust me, the twists in this tale will make you question what progress really means. In a surprising pivot, ElectraNet has decided to rethink the routing of its northern transmission project, steering clear of South Australia's mid-north region, after vocal pushback from local farmers worried about the toll on their prized agricultural lands. This initiative, affectionately dubbed NTX by those in the know, plays a crucial role in linking up renewable energy sources scattered across regional areas to the bustling city of Adelaide. To put it simply, it's like building highways for electricity, ensuring that clean power from wind farms and solar arrays can flow efficiently to where it's needed most. Back in the early months of this year, the Australian energy regulator, AER, think of them as the referees overseeing our energy grid, gave the green light for the project's initial phase. The original plan carved out a pathway starting from the Bundy substation, nestled near the town of Robertstown, and stretching all the way to Whyalla on the upper Spencer Gulf. But here's where the plot thickens. The proposed routes from Bundy Strait to Adelaide ignited a firestorm of opposition from farmers, who organised rallies to protest against towering transmission structures slicing through what they describe as some of the finest grain-producing territories in the mid-north. Take Ben Plueckhahn, a sixth-generation farmer from Saddleworth, for example. He puts it bluntly, the main worry is that the lines would cut right through the core of our most fertile farmland. To help beginners grasp this, imagine your backyard vegetable garden being bisected by a massive fence. Suddenly, your tomatoes might not get the sunlight or space they need, and farming isn't just about plants. It's about generations of families relying on that soil for their income and way of life. Plueckhahn suggests viable alternatives, like rerouting through less inhabited pastoral zones to the east. These areas, particularly beyond Goyder's Line, a historical boundary marking the edge of reliable rainfall in South Australia, are far less crowded, meaning fewer disruptions to farms and communities. He appreciates that ElectraNet is tuning into public input, showing they're adaptable and open-minded. As he notes, it's reassuring to see the company valuing our voices and seeking smarter paths forward. Building on this feedback, ElectraNet secured an extra 6 months from the AER to release a draft assessment report, buying time to scout out a more agreeable route for these power lines. The firm is now exploring eastern options away from the first-choice corridors that threatened prime grain fields near towns like Howlett, Kapunda, Saddleworth, Udunda, Riverton, and Roseworthy. Les Schoots, a key executive at ElectraNet, emphasizes their proactive response. We've listened to the mid-north communities and are making changes accordingly. This shift lets us explore other viable terrains that might better match what locals hope for. He acknowledges the anxiety their project has stirred, but frames it as a meticulous journey where every opinion helps refine choices. We're dedicated to selecting a pathway that maximizes benefits while cutting down on impacts to what matters most to people, Schoots adds. But here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone is singing praises for how this consultation unfolded. Liberal member for Frome, Penny Pratt, hails the route change as a victory for practicality, stating, "We've secured a win for sound judgment." Yet, she pulls no punches in critiquing ElectraNet's engagement tactics. For months, she says, families, farmers, and residents learned about potential corridors in a haphazard, piecemeal fashion, often through casual drop-in sessions that drew just a handful of attendees. Pratt recounts encountering locals completely in the dark about the consultations, or the looming possibility of transmission lines encroaching on their properties. This raises a bigger question. Is this a case of poor communication, or does it hint at deeper issues in how big energy projects prioritize community voices over corporate timelines. And this is the part most people miss. While rerouting might ease tensions in the mid-north, it could shift burdens elsewhere, perhaps onto those pastoral lands Plueckhahn mentioned, which are home to sheep and cattle ranches. Is this truly a fair trade-off? Or does it just relocate the problem, potentially affecting indigenous communities or conservation areas? Moreover, in an era where Australia is racing toward net zero emissions, do we accept minor inconveniences to farms for the greater good of sustainable power? What if, counterintuitively, some argue that modern transmission tech, like underground cabling, could minimize surface disruptions, but at a steeper cost? These are the debates worth having. So, dear readers, what's your take? Do you side with the farmers prioritizing their lands, or with the energy chiefs pushing for greener futures? Should companies like ElectraNet overhaul their consultation methods entirely, perhaps involving more digital town halls or interactive maps to keep everyone informed from day one? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Agreement, disagreement, or fresh ideas welcome. Let's keep the conversation flowing.